At the time of his passing, American actor Lou Gossett Jr.'s net worth was $5 million. The first African American to win an Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor was Lou Gossett Jr. for his performance as Gunnery Sergeant Emil Foley in the 1982 movie An Officer and a Gentleman. In addition, he received 2 Golden Globes, a Daytime Emmy, and a Primetime Emmy. For his portrayal of Fiddler in the 1988 television miniseries Roots, for which he won an Emmy, he first became well known. The movies A Raisin in the Sun, The White Dawn, The Punisher, and the Iron Eagle series were among Gossett's other credits. Childhood and schooling. On May 27, 1936, in the Brooklyn borough of New York City, Louis Gossett Jr. was born into the family of Porter Lewis Sr. and Nurse Helen. He attended Abraham Lincoln High School and Mark Twain Intermediate School 239 as a young person. While still in high school, Gossett substituted for Bill Venn in the Broadway play Take a Giant Step and made his stage debut in a school production of You Can't Take It With You. Gossett pursued his higher education at New York University. He turned down an athletic scholarship to play varsity basketball at NYU in order to concentrate on his acting career. Part 1 of my film career. Gossett had starred in the Broadway production of A Raisin in the Sun 2 years prior to making his cinematic debut in 1961 as George Murchison. It took him until 1969 to feature in his next movie, The Bush Babies. Following that, Gossett starred in several movies in the 1970s, such as The Landlord, Skin Game, Travels with My Aunt, The Laughing Policeman, The White Dawn, The River Niger, Jay's Revenge, The Deep, and The Chore Boys. He appeared in the comedy It Rained All Night the Day I Left in 1980 with Tony Curtis and Sally Kellerman in the opposite roles. Gossett's most well-known role came in the romantic drama An Officer and a Gentleman, which starred Deborah Winger and Richard Gere in 1982. He became the first black actor to win the Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor for his performance as drill instructor Gunnery Sergeant Emil Foley. Gossett subsequently starred in Jaws 3D, Finders Keepers, and Enemy Mine. He portrayed Colonel Charles Sinclair, a different member of the armed forces, in the action movie Iron Eagle in 1986. He would return to this role in all 3 of the sequels. Other 1980s credits for Gossett include The Principal, Firewalker, and the comic book adaptation The Punisher. Part 2 of my film career. Gossett had leading parts in the action movie Toy Soldiers and the political thriller Cover Up to start the 1990s. After these, he directed the basketball drama Blue Chips, the crime thriller Flashfire, the boxing dramedy Digstown, the literary adaptation A Good Man in Africa, and the drama Curse of the Starving Class, which was based on the play of the same name. Towards the end of the decade, Gossett made appearances in the fantasy horror film Bram Stoker's Legend of the Mummy and narrated the documentary The Wall That Heals. During the 2000s, Gossett starred in movies like Daddy's Little Girls, Left Behind, World at War, Cover, The Perfect Game, Shannon's Rainbow, and The Least Among You. Among his 2010s credits are Smitty, The Grace Card, A Fighting Man, Undercover Grandpa, Tyler Perry's Why Did I Get Married Too, and Supervised. In Boiling Pot, where he plays a detective looking into a murder with racial overtones, and in The Cuban, where he portrays a former Cuban jazz musician suffering from dementia. Gossett has 2 of his most well-known later credits. Part 1 of my television career. Gossett debuted on television in a 1958 episode of the crime drama The Big Story. In addition, he made appearances in the television movie Companions in Nightmare and in episodes of several other shows such as The Nurses, Cowboy in Africa, The Invaders, and The Mod Squad. In the brief adventure series The Young Rebels, which ran from 1970 to early 1971, Gossett played his first major role. Subsequently, he made appearances in numerous television shows, including The Jeffersons, Police Story, The Partridge Family, Bonanza, Cades County, Insight, The Rookies, Petrocelli, Vid Times, and The Jeffersons. In 1977, Gossett's role as Fiddler in the groundbreaking ABC miniseries Roots brought him his biggest break. He was awarded an Emmy several more highly regarded performances in the wake of his Roots success. He was nominated for a second Emmy in 1979 for his performance in the NBC miniseries Backstairs at the White House. Gossett also starred in 3 television movies: The Lazarus Syndrome, Lawman Without a Gun, and Don't Look Back. The Story of Larry Satchel Paige. In 1982 and 1983, he portrayed the lead character in the science fiction series The Powers of Matthew Starr. Gossett was praised during this period and was nominated for another Emmy for his performance as the lead Egyptian president in the television movie Sadat. His roles in the television movies The Guardian, A Gathering of Old Men, and The Father Clement Story brought him additional praise. Part 2 of my television career. In 1989, Gossett played the lead role in the brief ABC series Gideon Oliver. He then starred in a number of television movies, such as Inside, Captive Heart, The James Mink Story, El Diablo, Sooty and Simpson, The Josephine Baker Story, Carolina Skeletons, Keeper of the City, and Strange Justice. Gossett was also nominated for an Emmy for his guest appearance on Touched by an Angel, and he was awarded a Daytime Emmy Award for the children's television movie In His Father's Shoes. In the 2000s, Gossett kept up his prolific output on television. He starred in television movies early in the decade: The Color of Love, JC's Story, Jasper, Texas, and Momentum. He portrayed Jirak in 5 episodes of the military science fiction series Stargate SG-1 between 2005 and 2006. Subsequent credits for Gossett include episodes from television shows including Psych, ER, Boardwalk Empire, Extant, The Bint Fight, Hap and Leonard, and Hawaii Five-0. For his performance as Will Reeves and his alter ego Hooded Justice in the superhero limited series Watchmen, he was nominated for an Emmy in 2019. Individual Death and Life. Gossett married Hattie Glasgow in 1967. The union was dissolved the following year. After that, in 1973, he married Christina Mangosing, with whom he had a son named Sadie. Then, in 1975, the couple got divorced. In 1987, Gossett wed Cindy James Reese for the 3rd time. The two had a son named Sharon and got divorced in 1992. Property: Lou sold a $325 million, 2,800 square foot home in Malibu in September of 2018. After more than 60 years, Louis Gossett Jr. is still relevant as an actor, and he recently talked about his life and experiences in the Hollywood film industry. American actor Louis Gossett Jr. talked candidly about his life and experiences in Hollywood in a recent interview. After more than 60 years in the industry, he shared what it was like to still be relevant. In 1953, Gossett made his Broadway drama debut as the lead in Take a Giant Step at the age of 17. He acknowledged that acting had been his true calling, even though his initial goal had been to play basketball. But after the actor and Sidney Poitier joined the cast of the Broadway production of A Raisin in the Sun in 1959, the star made the decision to stay in acting. Following that, Gossett gained widespread recognition and left his mark on many people's hearts. He was awarded an Emmy in 1977 for his performance as Fiddler in the well-known miniseries Roots. In addition, he received an Oscar for his performance as Sergeant Foley in An Officer and a Gentleman. I had to go down to a Marine Corps recruiting division where the drill instructors trained, the actor disclosed. I got an Oscar for it, and I picked it up pretty quickly. Acting, he said when asked if he would leave the movie scene, was a lifestyle, not a job. The celebrity also acknowledged that at 84, he was still amazed that he was relevant. The most recent film that Gossett worked on was the 2019 HBO series The Watchmen. Additionally, he is scheduled to appear in the upcoming motion pictures The Foster Boy and The Last Rifleman. As part of his charitable giving, he established the Erisism Foundation to combat racism. The celebrity became enmeshed in the limelight, losing himself in nightclubs, parties, and addictions. The famous person was born in 1936 and raised in Coney Island, New York, among loving friends and families. He talked candidly about his early family history and said that his grandmother reared him in an interview from the previous year. The celebrity, who served as class president in high school, disclosed that his English teacher had encouraged him to pursue acting. After being thrown into the spotlight, he went on to garner 8 nominations for exceptional performances. The actor received nominations in 1978 and 1979 for his parts as lead actor in Backstairs at the White House and supporting actor in the Century Collection Presents Ben Vereen His Route.